Hello, hello. This is Pyron, and I'm here to walk you through a string permutation problem. So I have the problem posted here. So the problem is, given strings S1 and S2, write a function that returns a boolean value. True if the strings are permutations of each other, otherwise false. So examples of this is that you have the method or function called IsPermutation, but here you have two strings, S1, S2, and basically you're comparing to see if the values here are kind of reverse and they match one another. So for example, rats here, right, R-A-T-S spelled backwards is S-T-A-R, which is star. So if this is the case, it's going to be true. Right here, the second example shows that one string has a total length of 4 and the other one has 3, and this is going to be false because both strings have to be of equal length. How I'm going to be doing this, right? So the first step into solving this problem is to ask any clarifying questions, right? You're getting the question you want to ask the interviewer of anything that will help you comprehend the problem a bit better. So for here, I can see that you have two strings, right? S1 and S2, and you're going to be writing a function that is going to be returning a Boolean value. So don't really have any questions there. It seems pretty straightforward. So number 2 is I'm going to be defining, actually before I define a base case, I want to identify any edge cases. So edge cases are anything that are kind of like would be an outlier. So if you think of from a user standpoint, right, there are different use cases. So normally like a normal use case would be like, okay, you have two normal strings, right, S1 and S2. An edge case would be something like, okay, what if somebody enters like a null value, or what if somebody enters, let's say like an integer. So from here we can add on, what I'll do is I'll make notes. So I'll put something like, what if user enters an integer, or any other data type. Okay, and the second one is, what if the user doesn't enter anything? Way to code. Okay, so what I'm doing here is pretty much I'm walking through how I'm going to be solving this, right? So it's kind of just like a raw, I guess, like walkthrough of how my brain is putting this together in code, but I'm not actually coding it. Okay, so the way that I would do this is, so I know that, so they're asking for two strings, right? So you're gonna have two strings, and you're pretty much writing a function. So you're writing a method, right? So it'll be something called like is permutation, and it's gonna take two arguments, or I'm sorry, two parameters, right? It's gonna take two string parameters, so S1 and S2, string S2, and it's a boolean, so it's going to be returning a boolean value. So I'm going to put bool, right, and then I'll put like public void, something. I'm sorry, not public void, but public bool, and then I'll go over the other access modifiers later. So we got the first part down. Okay, so okay, so I have two strings, right? So we have to identify the characters within the strings. And what I also like to do is I'll just go down here and I'll make just a couple notes of what I'm thinking so far. So I'm gonna, like, in order to compare the characters in the strings, I'm gonna have to pull and retrieve those characters. So I'm gonna have to retrieve characters from strings. I also want to sort it, right? So it'll be easier to kind of compare one character to the next if you have it sorted. So I'm going to sort both the characters in both strings. Making sure I'm still recorded. Okay, cool. Sort the characters in both strings. Okay. Also, another edge case too is, I just thought about this. What if the user enters different casings? I guess like character casings. For example, upper and lowercase. Okay, so because of that, I'm gonna need to convert them all to have it be universal. So I'm gonna say convert string characters to lowercase. Okay. All right, so I have strings 1 and 2. Okay, so if I'm gonna be doing like the sort and then converting, I think it's easier to sort from an array instead of a string. So I'm gonna add make a character array and actually append each character from the string into a character array. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna do that. I don't know. I think like you can probably get away with like just doing it as a string, but for me, I like the way my brain works. I think it's easier to do it in a character. I'm sorry, sort in an array, and then do all the sort methods and indexing, and then because we're simply just trying to find out if two strings are permutation of one another or not. So and then see which methods are accompanied with that string class. But I think one of them is you can actually convert to an array. So we're going to do like to convert to character array. And then we're also going to convert it to lower too. Convert the characters to lowercase. Okay, let's see here. So same thing for S1 and S2. So I'm just going to copy these two. 2. Okay. Right, so we have one for string 1. This is going to be for string 1. This is going to be for string 2. Okay, so we're going to have it in an array, right? We're going to have the strings. We're going to pull and extract the characters in this string and lowercase them and then store them into an array. When we store them to an array, we also have to, the next step is to sort them, right, in order. So I'm going to do, so let's see, like S1, actually I'll just put it up here. So S1 sort out, and now we can start. Okay, so I'll leave the static main here. So I'm going to make a new method. So we're going to call it public boolean is permutation, and it's going to take, sorry, I'm used to spacing, S1 and string S2. Okay, so you have this, and then we're going to open it up with so let's see here. So we're going to have to declare let's see here. So we're going to be converting the strings into the character array, right? And to do that, let's see here. So we're going to do character this, and we'll call it character arrays S1. Oops, let's do S1 here. And we're going to be pulling the string here. So we're going to do S1 dot, and this will access everything here. So there is a 2-character array, right? So we're going to do that, and that's pretty much going to pull the characters in that string and store it into an array. And then we're also going to convert the characters to lowercase. So I'll just add it right here. I'll just do S1 and hit dot again and do 2 lower. Okay, so that will lowercase everything here. Okay, and then we're going to do the same for the second string. So I'll just do copy paste and then do S2, S2. So we've already declared our, I keep wanting to say like members. I don't know if this is the right term for it, but, or fields or properties. So that's what we have here. Okay, so next step is we're also going to sort it, right? So we can do, because we've already took the string, we converted to an array, which is right here, and we lowercase it, we're going to have to use the array class, right? So we're going to have to access it, you hit array and dot, and then you're going to do, I think there's sort. There it is, sort. Okay, so we're going to do sort, and so you're utilizing the array class, or the sort's a method part of it, but you have to insert something. It's going to be red here because it takes an array. So to do this, you have to put the arrays. So I'll just do, we're going to do character arrays 1, right? And then do that. And then we're going to do the same here, right? Character arrays 2. Okay, so what we've essentially done is we've taken the strings S1 and S2. We instantiated the array class, and we pretty much pulled the characters in that string into an array and sorted it into this array right here, array 1. And then we also converted lower, and we also sorted it. So everything's in order right now. Okay, so we've pretty much got this part done. So let's say S1 is ABC and S2 is cat. Okay. Like for the strings, one of the conditions for strings to be a permutation of another is it has to be, and I'll make a note here, the length of each string must match S2 of S1 string must match S2 string. Okay, so we have to make sure that they match, right? Because if you have something like that, it's definitely not. So we can rule that out by having a if statement, right? So we have to say if S1, this length is the same as S2 length, we can continue, then it's good. If not, then false. Okay, so to do this, I can just do it from the strings here. So we're going to do if S1 length, right, the length of the string, we'll do does not equal S2 length. So I'm pretty much doing it backwards, right, from what I said here. So if the length of both strings are not equal, then we are going to return false, right? Because it has to be even. Okay, so that ruled out one condition. All right, so the next one is now we can start the for loop statement. So we can do for, right? Int I is the iterator, and here we're going to be using the character array length, right? So we're going to do, we're going to be doing both. So we're going to do character arrays 1, right, dot length, and I character arrays 2 dot length. Okay, so what I'm pretty much saying here is so in the for loop, right, we're going to have the iterator or index position start at 0, which is known as I, and as long as I is less than the length, or up to the length of the character for the first array, and also the second array, right, we're going to be incrementing the index position. So we're going to be using the index position, and we're going to be iterating through both arrays at the same time. And what we're essentially finding is we're trying to get the value, right? So from here, since I want to retrieve the value, I'm going to put var, because I'm going to create pretty much a character. I'm going to use the index position of I, and I'm going to be retrieving the value in that array and returning it and saving it as character 1. So here, I'm going to do character arrays, and to do that, you're going to do get value, and it's down here. You can see it. So this gets the value of the specified position in the one-dimensional array, right? So this index position is it's a integer, 32-bit integer. So we're gonna do get value, and that's gonna be I. And we're gonna do the same here for 2. Okay. All right. So now that we got that, we've pretty much pulled the value of each array, right, where the index position is, and we're storing that value as character 1. Okay, so now what we're going to do here is we're going to be comparing, right? We're going to be comparing the values to make sure that they're the same. And as I increments, it will go through both arrays at the same time, right? So if we find that the character of one array with the same index position as the second array does not equal the same value, then we're going to be returning false, right? So we're going to do if character 1 equals character 2. And what I did here is character 1 is an array. I'm sorry, it's a character data type, right? And it's a class. So if you hit dot, you can find some of the methods, and equals pretty much returns. It determines whether the specified object, so character 2, right, is equal to the current object. So here, so we're going to do not, right? Not, and we're going to be returning false. Okay. Else, we need to break out this for loop, so we're going to hit continue here, right, to break out of this loop. And then after that, we also need to, when we break out of this loop, we have to return a value, because it's not, not all code paths return value. We have one for the if statement up here. We need another one for the for loop here. So we're going to do return true. Okay. Let me see here. I think, I don't know if I got everything right. Let's see, permutation. I think I'm missing something. Okay, let's move this here. All right, so to activate this, I'm gonna do, let's see, I'm gonna call the IsPermutation, and I'm going to pass in two strings. So let's do Bob and Bob. Okay. And the reason why it's doing that because this is why an object reference is required. So my access modifier is missing. So for me to use this, I have to put static here, and now I can use it. Okay, so now we can check it. Okay, so I guess before we go into doing this, let me run through the code and explain it. So from here, let's see, I've already explained it up to this far, so I guess I can start over. So we made a method or function that is going to be returning a Boolean value, where either true or false. What it's doing is taking two strings as parameters, and what we're doing is what we're essentially trying to look for is we're trying to see if the strings are permutations of one another, otherwise it's false. So permutation is like different combinations. I'm sorry, not different combinations. It's pretty much if the first if I'm sorry if the last index of the first string matches the first index of the second string, and it's pretty much reverse, right? So what we're doing here is we are taking the character, so string 1 and string 2, we're turning it into, we're extracting the values, the character values, into an array. We're also converting it to lower case to make sure, you know, the user didn't put a capital S when they meant to put a lower s. So that way we're guaranteeing that it's all the same. And they're also sorting the array. So when we sort the array, we have to make sure that the characters, the length should match. So if the length does not match, then we're going to be returning false because it has to have the same length of elements. We're going to be using the for loop to iterate through both arrays with the same index position, and we're comparing those values, right? So we're pulling the values of that index position, we're storing it to a character variable called car1 for string 1 and car2 for string 2. If the value of character 1 does not equal car2, we're going to be returning false. Otherwise, we're going to be going through and the iteration, and then we're returning true. So let's go ahead and here activate the test case. So we have Bob and Bob, right? So we've run through, and I'm just going to hit play. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgot to put console.writeLine and to print out the method. So let's see here. So we're going to print, and so we'll put cat here, and it's false. And then we'll put, I don't know, that one, it's going to be false. Let's do AFE, and we'll see it's true, and it's going to be true. Okay, and then let's do, let's see here. Let's put one string with different lengths, and it's going to return false. Okay, so pretty much that is it. And oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot to add the edge cases. So we can say, so some of the edge cases is like, let's say we have to test to see somebody enters an integer. 21. Actually, let's do 21. Comma. Okay, what will this do? It's gonna return false. Okay. Let's do 21. It's gonna error out. Okay, that's good. What else? Let's do Bob. It's gonna return false. Okay, so I think yeah, that's it.